It really doesn't seem to matter how many of these dirt blocks I place, how many grass blocks I place, it still just doesn't seem like the end is anywhere in sight for getting this new ground level that I'm trying to build up over here at our witch farm, haunted castle area. Yes, I know I still need a name for it, but like just the amount of dirt, I honestly think I might have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew in the time frame I thought I could get this done in. So yeah, we spend a fair bit of our time in between episodes coming back and trying to place down some dirt blocks and grass blocks to expand this, and trying to get all the the mushroom blocks all around to get our walls up. So I am working away hard at this, but it just seems like the project was a bit bigger than I thought. Like I tell you, it gives you a brand new appreciation for watching like Scar and Joel and Green and B-Dubs and all that sort of stuff, and just watching their big massive builds coming off in like a few episodes. The amount of time and effort that they put in, it has to be incredible. No, get out of the way here. That was not up. No, okay. Anyway, appreciation aside, and I've run out of dirt for now. Let's talk about, something that is going to be changing within this world, because last time in the behind the scenes episode we spoke about how 1.21 is coming out, and well, it's coming out soonish, probably mid-year, so that's only in like 2 months or so. So we need to start thinking, how is it going to affect our world? And we spoke about a lot of the main sort of parts that I've seen, but there's been in the last snapshot or something that I've noticed a parity bug fix between Bedrock and Java. This is affecting me on Bedrock, and that is that we are going to now finally get 100% block drop from TNT. Something that we have wanted on Bedrock since it was announced on Java. Like, we can't make really cool tree farms, we can't make concrete farms, we just can't do it because TNT has never reliably dropped all the blocks. So like, that is just a beautiful thing that we are going to be able to take advantage of in this world. However though, it seems like they've given us something and then they've taken something away from us, which is really messing with a lot of mob farms around, Bedrock designers and everything like that, because I'm not sure if it was like a slight bug or if it was just a spawning mechanic, but they've changed how mobs spawn. So if I do have some dirt there, sweet. So if I show an example like this, and we say that this block here is our spawning block for mobs, and then that's north, east, south, west. Mobs would always try and spawn on the northwest block. So how we see with our witch farm, and we'll go down and show that in a moment, the mobs would spawn here, we'd have a glass block here, and they'd just fall straight down. Now, they've given us the ability to have TNT. We can actually do some proper TNT mining. We can use it for tree farms, cobblestone generators, you name it. But now, the method of us getting gunpowder and most of our mob drops rely on us being able to have mobs spawn here and fall down. We're now being pushed back to the center of the block, right here. And our old methods on Bedrock of having like a glass block above the head, so say there'd be an airspace where my feet is and then there'd be a glass block here, that would push me, wrong way, off of the platform, and I'd fall down to whatever our kill chamber is. Unfortunately, I've been watching some Silent Whisper, who is an excellent just Bedrock person that can make so many excellent farms and just really keeps up to date with all the news and everything. So if you haven't checked him out, definitely go into, there'll be a link there. But he's also shown that the glass, having the mob's head spawn inside of that is no longer actually pushing them. It's just keeping them in place, and they're just sort of looking around going, hey, how's that going? This is also now affecting spider spawning in farms. So, you got like a 2x2 space, and then you just put like a button or something here and that would stop it. But no, now the spider's going to spawn here, it will, and that button's not going to stop it. So there's been a lot of changes to how our mob farms are going to be working, and I kind of want to have a look at the only real one that's going to be affected in our world, on the hardcore world, which is the witch farm. We have two mob farms. No, we have three. We have the iron farm, which we've been spending so much time lately trying to get up and running, and it's working perfectly now. I'm getting like 3 iron golems at a time. It's beautiful. But we also have the Blaze spawner, which we set up over at the Fortress, another Silent Whispers farm design, which works perfectly and isn't going to be affected by this change because it is a mob spawner. So that's like a guaranteed radius of where the mobs will spawn, and they will spawn there, so it's not affected by this. The only one that I can see that is really going to be affected is our witch farm. So let's jump down there and I'll show you what I mean by that. Are there witches down here, Bluey? You look so cozy in your nest up there. That's cool. Alright, so by that sound telling us that there are witches here. So as you can see, we are still currently in, Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.20. Whatever our little extra thingy is there. But it still works perfectly fine. You see that spruce plank in there is our spawning block. You can just make out the airspace there where the feet of the mob would be spawning, and it drops straight down into our chute for a little kill chamber. As we can see, that still works perfectly fine here and now. Bluey, you're annoying me with that witch sound, so the witch is going. Let's quickly fix that. And for anyone that's new here, this is a trident killing setup. As you can see, we just got the pistons cycling around with a trident in there, and yeah, the trident kills it, drops all the items onto the hoppers down there, and we just got a nice simple bobble elevator sending all our goodies up to the storage. But let's turn that off, and yeah, we can't really see it from down here, so let's jump back up the top there. Alright, let's see if we can sleep away the rain. Ooh, that was a good time to sleep. Alright, after a thunder strike, let's do head count. All of our prisoners still here. Cat's still there. Our naturally spawned diamond wearing zombie's still there. Love you, buddy. You also still need a name. And Trevor. I called you Travis in a previous episode. I'm really sorry, Trevor. But yet, you're here still good, out naturally spawning pink sheep. Sweet. Okay. Glad to see that thunderstorm didn't strike here at all. Another witch? Dude. You're going to make Bluey go all crazy. I just want to do my little talk about this before we jump over. Die. Thank you. Okay, that was just the items being triggered up through the system. Scared me. And for anyone that's wondering, this is our storage system. And the fact, actually, we've been talking about how TNT is now going to have 100% drop rate for its blocks. And I said that we're going to be using it. And that same breath, we're also going to be losing our possibilities to actually get gunpowder to make it. Don't worry. I'm stocking up. So even if we can't quite fix a solution straight away when 1.21 is implemented, we still have some gunpowder to spare, so don't worry about that. Now, if we look over here, we can see that this setup here is a nice spacing, and we do have the space to be able to replicate it. Now, I've just looked over onto my recording software. Maybe you guys can't see as clearly as I can through there, but it's just a big open space. It's covered with the tinted glass so that it's still dark enough for hostile mobs to spawn in there while keeping nice and lit for ourselves. But we just have that one spruce plank there where our mobs are spawning in, and they're currently just getting hit with the glass block above their head and it's pushing it down. What we now need to do is design a system that was going to detect when a mob has spawned onto that spot and then push it off without destroying whatever we have to detect that it's there. So I think let's jump over into our creative test world, where I'm pretty sure I have this design built up in there already, and we can just try with, I think it might be as simple as getting a bit of string above where the head block is going to be, having that face into an observer, and every time that like a mob spawns there, it's going to activate the string, which will tell our observer that, you know, hey, there's somebody here, and then we just got to wire up a piston to push it off. So hopefully it's going to be as simple as that, but to know that for sure, we need to jump over into our creative test world, so let's head over there. And right over here is our witch farm original design. So as you can see, we've got our block just here where the mob spawns on. the space for our feet, and then this currently is that here? No, okay, so, okay, my design, it was just working out that they would spawn here. Great, so this is pretty much a nice blank template for us to work off of. So, we have it that if our mobs are spawning on this block here, we're going to want to have an observer and a piece of string. This is my first idea, so let's see how that works. Where's the string? Okay, so we want the observer to be facing in, not that way, and we want a bit of string there. Okay, so now just to see if this works, let's first off, will the light light up when I walk in on it? I think it did. Yep. Perfect. So we can see there that that works. Now what we want is preferably just a solid block, bit of redstone and a piston. So my hoping is that we can now just have it so that the piston will be there. When he gets detected, we're going to put a bit of just a normal block there with some dust. So will that push me off? Oh guys, I love it when it's something so simple. Alright. So now then, let's try and test this. So, the way my setup currently is that this would be blocked off. Nice. So that they can only really spawn in there and then get pushed down. Let's grab ourselves a witch egg, or spawn egg. Okay, so what we want to see is that when the witch is spawned in on that block, it's going to be detected by the string and then get pushed straight off. That's what we need. Please let it work. Okay, it's triggering twice, once as it detects it, once when it gets nudged off again. Is that going to be an issue? No. Because what if a witch gets stuck on that first initial push and doesn't get moved? Then we've got the backup one for another. Now what do we... Okay, that's alright. So far it's handling with a few. So, at the moment, this is looking like it's working. If I turn on the Trident Killer, we can really represent this whole thing. A Trident Killer works when you put a trident in it. You fool! You got one on you? No. Alright, for now, I'm just going to despawn these. I spawn these witches in, I can't just despawn them by... So, while I wait for these witches to quickly die off, I think that this could just be the simple solution for our problem with the witch farm. Now, this may not work on a larger scale, so for example, I know that there are a lot of mob farms out there that rely on, let's say, we'll go out to here, a system where you've got the platform here like so, then we've got our glass block here. This is usually over like an ocean or something, so that way you get a better mob cap sort of counting. And our mobs would be spawning on here. As you see, it won't even do it for this update, and I'm not in a preview one because I'm on Xbox and I know that can mess with worlds, so I don't want to take a risk. But you know, they now every time, instead of spawning on that block like they would see here, they spawn no problem, but here with the glass block above their head, they get pushed straight away down. So I don't know for these sort of farms here how well it's going to work. I mean, you could possibly, you could possibly run it like this. Then you'd have to go through and have your observers facing all of this, put a line of string along it, but then you've got to then come back through and slab all of these just to have the opportunity. I don't know if that's going to be even like a feasible idea for future farms. It's going to kill up a lot of just possible spacing for mobs to spawn. Let's turn that off. So for a larger scale, I don't know how well this idea would work, but as it's kind of looking like at the moment, for this smaller scale, I think we're going to be perfectly fine. So let's just fully test it, try and kill a going. Now, if a witch spawns in, just push down into the killer. Yeah. But this is like the first time ever I've had a redstone problem and been able to solve it so quickly. Like, I jumped in and we went over with one of the behind the scenes when we built up the amethyst shard farm. That took me hours to work out through. This one here was a really nice sort of brain teaser to sort of sit through, going, okay, we can't rely on the mobs spawning on our northwest corner anymore and just falling down a hole. We can't rely on mobs spawning with a glass block above their head to have them drop off, as we demonstrated over here. That's going to be taken away from us, but what we can rely on is the mob will still spawn on that block. So now all we need something is just to push it down there, and the fact that the string, or the observer just picks up the string on its own, there's no need for any like the tripwire hooks sort of stuff that you fish up. No need for any of that. Makes it so simple that all we have to do is change 2 of the glass blocks, remove one of them, and add an extra block on the back there with some redstone on it, and our farm is still fully operational. We don't need to change anything else about it. So I think that this is going to be fine, and we don't need to worry about this jumping into 1.21. So when that update does release, I'm almost certain that another behind the scenes, we will be just jumping in and actually putting this design into the hardcore world. Alright, come on. Give me a good amount of XP now, please. It's been running for a little bit. Oh, yes. Go from 100 to 107 to 109 is, like, that's a lot of XP. Witch farms are great for that. Now, I do believe that this has to have been one of the easiest redstones, puzzles that I've had to solve. And I think that as far as what we've seen now, and they've pretty much announced most of the major updates and features that's coming in 1.21. So this should be a nice, simple solution to how they're going to be changing up mob spawning. As I said over in the creative test world, this is the only farm that we've got so far that could possibly be affected by that change. So any future builds from now on, we'll probably just start building it with that idea in mind. If it's before the 1.21 update, I do think though that currently I'm recording the next hardcore episode, which is working on a lovely tree nursery. I will let you know that in case you guys are eager to know what I'm currently working on. But yeah, so there's no future designs or thoughts at the moment for a mob farm that could be affected. So I think we're all in the clear now that we've addressed this one problem. And I think it's something that was very important to do in any Minecraft world, is to consider, this isn't a world that I plan just to reset just because there's a new update dropping, The challenge is, this is a hardcore world. We've got to see how long we can live in it, and we're also trying to tell our story and our tale in it, so it's just because there's a new update doesn't mean this world now gets reset. So we've got to address any issues that may be coming up, any bug fixes or parity fixes that we get in Bedrock, all that sort of stuff, to be able to keep our world running and to ensure that our farms don't break. So yeah, I guess for anyone out there that's got, technical farms going on in their world, just always make sure that you keep an eye on what's coming in the change logs, that sort of stuff, so that your farms aren't going to be broken. Alright though, so let's now end this behind the scenes episode in a much more pleasant looking area than our dreary dungeon where our witches are, where our witches meet their final demise. Yeah, there's not a good way to put a spin on it. So let's come over here to where it looks pretty. This is obviously our School of Magic, one of the only buildings that has the full interior done over in this space here, and I don't know, I really like coming over and just looking at this place. I'm really happy with the work that I've gotten done there. As for being really happy with being able to, fix the problem before it arises with our witch farm, so it's not out of commission for too long at all. Now guys, I've realised I haven't actually left you guys with a question this time, and I always try and leave with the behind the scenes a bit of a question for you guys to, answer in the comments section, or just have a think about, after watching this video, because I like to try and involve you guys as much as possible in these world and in these videos. So I've been thinking, with us talking a lot about, the new update 1.20 dropping, and it should be, I think, halfway through the year, so we've got probably a month or two left now. So, what are you guys looking forward to most in this new update? There's so many things, like all the copper variants, all the new tough block variants, different spawning mechanics as we've been talking about in this behind the scenes. We've got now the trials and chambers and that sort of stuff. So that's going to be like a whole cool new thing. It's got a whole new string of items that come along with that, and mobs too. We're getting 2 new mobs, as well as the custom, well, not the custom, but finally getting different breeds for our dogs. And yes, I'm pretty sure that once that drops, we're going to go get ourselves one of the striped dogs from the Mesa. Looks like a hyena. I really like it. I've got to get myself one. So I'm looking forward to that sort of stuff. But for this world, being with a bit more on the storytelling thing, I'm kind of interested with having in new mobs to be able to build up new areas that consist of these mobs. So, we've got a place where armadillos roam and that sort of stuff, so it might be near where we do our gold farm and that sort of stuff when that time occurs. But yeah, guys, please leave down in the comments section what you guys are really looking forward to in 1.21 when it finally does drop. But until then, guys, thank you very, very much for tuning in and watching as I go through my thought process on how to fix a problem here in the hardcore world that's coming up. And yes, I just hope you've really enjoyed it, and look forward to the next hardcore episode. So until then,